Hello, my name is Hart. I am here with my buddy Jess, and we are going to be reviewing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original live-action film from 1990. And it's good. It's probably not everybody's cup of tea. It is a very much 90s movie. It has its really corny parts and whatnot, but it still has a really special place in my heart.
It was like my favorite movie of all time. At least one of them anyway. I grew up watching it, and like there's bits of parts where some people won't like, but I loved every bit of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, going back and watching it again, you can see that the production value on it wasn't necessarily the highest. I will say that the suits they used for the Turtles were really well done, actually, I feel, for what they had to work with in that time. The movement of the suits was really good. The people inside could still move around and fight properly. And the animatronics for the heads were actually pretty good. They had the lip sync pretty well on lockdown.
Yeah.
It was really well done for that part of it anyway.
They did excellent when it comes to the suits. Like
Oh, yeah.
Even the fighting scenes, all that sort of shit. It's like all just right. It's not like clanky and
So basic plot without giving too much away, it's the Ninja Turtles. They're going to be fighting Shredder at some point, obviously.
and the Foot Clan.
The way this movie goes, though, it does get some flack for the fact that they've turned the Foot from a ninja gang into pretty much just kids pickpocketing on the street. And I will admit that I don't really like that aspect of it. It always felt kind of awkward after I grew up a bit and realized what the Foot were supposed to be. And to turn them into basically a gang of children street thugs felt kind of, a demotion overall.
True, but the way I see it, it's like, okay, you have the lower part of the Foot Clan that are going around stealing everything. And then you have the higher ups that are actually learning ninjutsu and all that. So they have like two different levels.
Sure.
So it seems like Shredder's like, okay, you want to work with me? You gotta steal this, do that, do all this bad crime, and then prove yourself.
Sure, but at the same time, what's their long-term plan here? They're using kids to steal televisions and shit.
Yeah, but
to
it looks like
sell on the black market.
Yeah. That's how they how they get all their weapons and stuff, right?
I mean, they could just import them and go steal the weapons instead of stealing a television to buy the weapons.
True, but there's still a lot on the black market that are like, okay, how does Shredder get all his?
What's he gonna do? Buy a nuke?
He could. You never know.
I guess. Sure. So. One really fun part about this movie is they actually had Corey Feldman playing the voice of Donatello, which is very noticeable if you've ever watched anything with Corey Feldman in it. Over your head, yeah.
Yeah, over my head.
Yeah, you live under a friggin' rock sometimes. God. So many movies we're sitting here discussing over this weekend, and it's like, oh, I haven't seen that. Oh, I haven't seen that. I'm like, God, I have to just show you everything.
Just like in the Turtles, they did a little bit cameo, and the Critters. I've never seen the original Critters.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed in that. The first Critters was fun. We'll get to that another time. But yeah, I would say if you do enjoy the Ninja Turtles and you haven't seen the original live action film from 1990, I would say check it out. It's a fun time. Don't expect it to be, the nitty gritty, accurate from comic books or the cartoons or anything like that. It's certainly not, but it is still a fun movie.
It's definitely worth watching. It's family movie too.
Yeah, it's leaning more towards kids. It still has a little bit of adult humor in it, of course, like pretty much any kids movie has nowadays too. But overall, it is aimed more towards children rather than long-term fans of any kind of Ninja Turtle base. So check it out. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if there's any movies you want to hear my thoughts on. We're probably going to get into some spoilers here, so if you don't want to know anything and you want to go check the movie out for yourself, go ahead and click off now and have a good one. So, anything particular you want to talk about?
First, let's talk. I want to get this out of the way first. The end of the movie, the credits. They're singing their song, Turtle Power, and close to the end of the song, the singer's talking about the turtles, and he's introducing them and all that sort of shit, and then all of a sudden he goes, the leader of the group, Raphael. No, it's wrong. It's Leonardo. Hands down. That bugged me so much.
Now, to be devil's advocate here, are you 100% certain that at no point was Raphael ever the actual leader of the group? Through all of the comics, through all of the cartoons?
No, it's Leo, hands down.
Okay. I'll have to take your word on it.
I've actually seen a lot of the comics and all that. There was at one point in the comics that it was Leo and Raphael were going together trying to see who become the leader. But Splinter picked Leo over Raph due to his anger issues.
Right.
And he doesn't think rash enough to be a leader role.
Gotcha.
Another thing which I liked about this was explaining about all the bits of their origin.
Oh, sure. With the mutation gel stuff,
and even introducing how Shredder came to be.
Right. Well, I mean, to be fair, they didn't really explain that aspect of it. They explained that, he had this rivalry with the guy who owned Splinter before Splinter was a mutant, and then he attacked him and Splinter got out of his cage and he clawed up his face a little bit, but then after that they just mentioned that he just kind of vanished. Nobody knows where he went.
Yeah, you probably tried to escape from the cops and shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is they didn't really explain how Shredder became Shredder. It was like he was in a love rivalry against this other dude, and all of a sudden now he's this criminal mastermind. Yeah. They didn't really bridge that gap for him.
You could have had a psychotic break.
Well, that's speculation, though. You just said could have. There's anywhere where he could have done this or could have done that, but overall, they didn't explain how Shredder actually became Shredder.
I like the origin of the whole. They'll explain how Splinter got his ear cut off and all that sort of shit. How he met the turtles, all that. I loved it all. It was definitely funny as hell.
It was very adorable to see little animatronic turtles crawling around in the goop, and then starting to grow up and learning to talk and pizza. Yeah, it's definitely adorable.
What do you think about how the turtles first got introduced into the movie, where they say April?
Oh yeah, that was great. The only downside to the overall arc of the movie, though, is it starts off with them, blanking out the lights, and then all you just hear is the scuffling and the fighting, and the next thing you know, the enemies are tied up and the turtles are gone, ninja style. And they get back there, and Splinter's like, you can't ever be seen, blah blah blah. And then they just kind of run around for the rest of the movie and show off to everybody, it feels like. True,
but then again, Splinter wasn't around after that.
Right, Splinter, but I mean, he explicitly told them that they must never be seen. Raphael literally brings April back. He literally fights Casey Jones without his hat on at that point.
It's Raphael. He doesn't think rationally. I think I clarified that one.
He's running around on a rooftop where everybody can just look over.
Exactly.
So
Raphael does not think what he's doing. He just does it.
But I mean, of course, if they could never be seen, you wouldn't have much of a movie, because every time they're supposed to fight around other people, it'd just be dark and all you'd hear is the scuffling some more.
True.
So I liked the introduction, but they didn't obviously stick with that for the course of the movie.
What do you think of Casey Jones?
I liked him in this movie. I'll be honest, I never really watched the cartoons too much as a kid. I did watch them, but not like exclusively or extensively. I never really saw Casey Jones much in the comics.
Casey Jones wasn't much in the cartoon either.
well, I never really saw much to begin with, so the character portrayed in this movie I did enjoy. I like how he uses all sorts of different sports utensils as weapons, fucking baseball bat, a cricket bat, golf club at one point, but at the same time it did feel awkward thinking about it as he's just some dude with a bat who's fighting ninjas.
True.
If you try to put logic to anything, it usually ruins it. And this is definitely one case where it's just some dude with a bat or a hockey stick or whatever with a hockey mask on who's fighting ninjas who are supposedly well-trained or trained enough to kick some ass.
Yeah, well, if ninjas could take out one of the turtles, then it should have been be able to take out Casey Jones.
You would think. Especially in the burning building where there's, 20, 30 ninjas, and Casey Jones is holding them at bay with nothing but, what did he have at that point? A hockey stick, I think?
Yeah, it was just a hockey stick, goalie stick.
Yeah. So it's like he's keeping ninjas at bay with a goalie stick. Come on.
And he had, at the time, they had axes and all that sort of...
Oh, sure.
So they should have been able to, like, okay, just swarm them, take them down, and then just them go after the turtles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is you can't think too much about it, because if you do, you're going to ruin the movie for yourself. But it's a fun movie nonetheless. It has plenty of just stupid turtle moments where they're cracking jokes, usually Mikey, obviously.
Oh, Mikey and the nunchuck scene. That was just too good.
I mean, how does that even work?
How is he spinning it on his finger?
Yeah, the ninjas bust in, the foot busts into the room, and one guy out of the entire group, for whatever reason, starts whipping around a nunchuck, and instead of attacking, all the ninjas just kind of sitting around, and Mikey's like, oh, and a fellow chucker, huh? He pulls out his nunchucks, and they have like a little face-off where they're spinning their nunchucks around and showing off to each other. And to end it, Michelangelo starts spinning the nunchuck on his one finger like a basketball. I don't know how it works. Physics was not involved in that scene whatsoever, but it was funny to see.
And then you catch the nunchucks, so you keep practicing.
Yeah.
And then Donatello flips over, and then the fight scene starts going.
Yep.
Poor Donnie, man. First he almost gets drowned in the water in the fish tank.
He's a turtle. There was no drowning taking place. You see how calm he was? He's just like looking around at the fish while they're holding his head under.
Yeah, it was like, and then he gets played in the piano with his head.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't a very good song. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, somebody needs to practice some more.
Just a little bit. What do you think of the fight scene with the Shredder?
Honestly, it felt very lackluster. With big battle after big battle where they're just fighting numerous grunts, the final battle versus Shredder did feel very lackluster in comparison. It felt very weak. They just keep running at him blindly because they're overcome with, oh my god, he knows where Splinter is, rather than thinking rationally. And he's just like very easily flipping them over, where these are characters that have been kicking ass the entire movie.
What I didn't get is, why didn't all four of them attack him at once?
They sort of did, but they never do. In any movie, anywhere, like, you have 30 ninjas against 4 turtles, they're not all attacking at once.
No,
they're coming at them 1 or 2 at a time, so they can easily defend themselves. It's the way movies work.
True.
You very, very rarely see a scene where just everybody jumps something at the same time.
What'd you think of the close to the end where Shredder pisses off Leonardo, and Leonardo rushes in, and then he gets forces the other turtles to throw his weapons away. Right.
I mean, that was pretty straightforward. I felt like that was kind of where it needed to go. Obviously, like, he was completely overwhelmed, basically, Raph mentality, where he's just pissed off and runs in.
Yep.
Fucks up, obviously, knife at his throat, and to show the camaraderie and the brotherhood, whatever, to show the brotherhood amongst them, obviously the rest of them are going to do whatever they need to do to try to save him, and instead of rushing Shredder, where he could easily just...
That's what he said. That's what Shredder said. It's like, well, 3 of you could take me, but have lost but 1.
Exactly. So, I mean, that was pretty standard. That didn't really shock me, and it didn't really disappoint me at that point. What did disappoint me was how the turtles were really well done with the movement and everything, and Splinter looked literally like a robot.
Yeah.
At the end, Shredder ends up rushing him. Splinter has one of the nunchucks from Mikey and just kind of like, I guess, sidestepped, but you don't see it.
He kind of flips him over, and he's hanging off the building.
Yeah. He's got the nunchuck wrapped around the spear tight so that he can hold on to it. It just... Splinter, throughout the entire movie, looked very crappy compared to the Turtles.
Yeah.
In terms of animatronics and movement, he felt very robotic rather than a human in the suit like the Turtles did.
That's true.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not the perfect movie, but I still do enjoy it. It's something I did grow up with, and I can't hate on it. The production value isn't the greatest, but it was still fun. It still had some good jokes throughout it.
Yes.
It's still just a fun movie. We'll cut it off here, and if you haven't seen it, do go watch it. Give yourself a chance, or give it a chance. And like, comment, subscribe. And we'll see you later.
All right, take care.